Hello everyone, I'm Jaideep Shah and I will be guiding you today on topic Smart Grid for Smart Cities. Learning objectives of these sessions are: what is Smart City, India's Smart City mission, what is Smart Grid, and which are the various Smart Grid technologies. Smart Cities mission. The objectives of Cities mission is to promote cities that provide core infrastructure and give a decent quality of life to its citizens, a clean and sustainable environment, and application of smart solutions. The focus is on sustainable and inclusive development, and the idea is to look at compact areas, create a replicable model which will act like a lighthouse to other aspiring cities. Different cities might have different challenges. So we need to decide solution differently. And success of one city can help other cities too in coming years. The Smart Cities mission of government is a bold new initiative. It is meant to set examples that can be replicated both within and outside the smart city, catalyzing the creation of similar smart cities in various regions and parts of the country. Accordingly, the purpose of Smart Cities mission is to drive economic growth and improve the quality of life of the people by enabling local area development and harnessing technology, especially technology that leads to smart outcomes. Area-based development will transform existing areas, retrofit and redevelop, including slums, into better planned ones, thereby improving livability of the whole city. New areas, greenfield, will be developed around the cities in order to accommodate the expanding population in urban areas. Application of smart solutions will enable cities to use technology, information, and data to improve infrastructure and services. Comprehensive development in this way will improve quality of life, create employment, and enhance incomes for all, especially the poor and the disadvantaged, leading to inclusive cities. So few years back, Government of India planned 100 smart cities. Currently, 98 cities are active. Few years back, I did visit Nagpur Smart City and I also visited control room of Smart City Nagpur. I am from Vadodara. Vadodara is also under Smart Cities initiative. Our Nasik is also a part of Smart City initiative. Vadodara and Nasik when they planned, firstly, I think both cities were in third list when they declared Smart Cities initiative. So Smart Cities mission, number of projects, 5,151 number of projects are there. Central assistance of 48,000 crores. Smart City proposal rupees 2.5 lakh in crores. Number of round of selection 4. Smart cities are developed through twin strategies: area based development through city improvement retrofitting, city renewal redevelopment, and city extension greenfield development, and pan city initiatives which impact lives of most citizens. So when they planned, total 2,05,018 crores of rupees of budget allocated. 80% area based development projects and 20% for pan city initiatives. The core infrastructure elements in smart city would include: 1. Adequate water supply. Second, assured electricity supply, probably 24/7. Third, sanitation including solid waste management. Fourth, efficient urban mobility and public transport. Fifth, affordable housing, especially for the poor. Next one is robust IT connectivity and digitalization. Without IT and digitalization, smart cities are not possible. Next, good governance, especially e-governance and citizen participation. Next, sustainable development. I will be discussing many topics in detail, like smart grid for assured electricity supply, smart transportation, sustainable environment. The next topic is safety and security of citizens. Nowadays, this one is also very crucial, and because of ICT technology, we can trace the criminals. Safety and security of citizens, particularly women, children, and the elderly. And last core infrastructure element is health and education. Smart healthcare infrastructure and smart education systems. So these are the elements of smart city. The concept of smart cities has different notions for different people across different geographies. The definition keeps changing according to different needs of different cities. What remains constant is the fact that this mission has been launched in order to provide a better quality of life to the people and to make them technologically progressive and smart. The government has launched this mission to deal with the challenge of rapid urbanization. Through this mission, they seek to develop the cities in terms of infrastructure. Smart cities concept. The committee set up for planning and implementing the concept of smart cities is looking forward to developing the urban ecosystem, which they say can be defined by the four pillars of development: institutional, physical, social, and economic infrastructure. The growth of any city is measured by its ability to deal with the issues related to urbanization and social, environmental, and economic issues in a holistic manner, while keeping in mind the opportunities it would in turn bring in the future. In order to implement the smart cities mission successfully, the central as well as the respective state governments in India have created special economic zones, SEZ, and special investment regions, SIRs, where they have relax the regulations and tax structures, thereby attracting foreign investment. As it is anticipated that the funding for the project would come from the private developers, the foreign investors, hence the modification in regulations and tax structures is seen. Under the Smart Cities project, we would also see launch of public Wi-Fi hotspots across the city to bridge the digital divide and to encourage people to use information and communication technology enabled services. It is being said that this initiative is being taken to encourage residents to get in touch with governing body and register their complaints. The smart cities would bring innovative technologies into use, create more innovative ways to delivering public services and make better use of data with the objective of becoming more sustainable, prosperous, and create a better place to live in. Apart from this, the mission is also aiming at launching a zero wet waste initiative wherein the residents would be encouraged to recycle the biodegradable waste as biofertilizers or biogas. Sustainable use of resources, reduction and recycling of water is yet another important area that would be given due attention. Undoubtedly, there is tremendous potential in India to build an effective ecosystem to enable our burgeoning urban areas to become smart by using digital technology. This in turn will create employment opportunities and contribute to economic growth through innovation. So IoT will be playing a vital role for smart cities, not in India but across the world. So IoT will be helping in smart security, smart commerce, smart healthcare segment, smart mobility, smart traffic management, smart grids, and without responsible citizens, it's not possible. So smart citizenship. Internet of Things stands for massive ecosystem of sensors and devices connected over one network. The value Internet of Things provide is hidden in all of the data that gets collected on this network. Interpreting this data gives important insights on all of the crucial aspects of the life in the city. This data has to be used to bring improvements in all of the aspects we have discussed above. And this is exactly where the problem lies. cities need to have an infrastructure that supports Internet of Things, along with custom-made software that will store and analyze the copious amounts of data collected through sensors and various devices. We will come back to the challenges of implementing Internet of Things a little bit later. Now let's discuss a special case. The best example and role model. In the world as we know it, there is one city that is a bit smarter than the other smart cities. It is one of the top world financial center. Yes, we are talking about Singapore. This city state is truly state of art when it comes to Internet of Things. Since there are dozens of IoT implementations throughout the city, many consider the people living in Singapore to be world's first smart nation. There are millions of sensors and devices communicating in the IoT network of Singapore. These sensors are provided by non-governmental companies, and the amount of data collected via these sensors is huge. It is so big that Singapore authorities had to get custom built software that would collect and interpret it. This program is called Virtual Singapore. And through the interface of this program, the authorities of Singapore successfully manage the city. Currently, IoT is implemented in parking systems and monitoring, efficient lighting, and the garbage collection and disposal system. They have been implemented IoT in elder care facilities too. This segment of IoT is on a voluntary basis. People who use it will get notified if their significant other stops moving for too long. The new IoT system named Telehealth allows patients to have a face-to-face conversation with their doctor without the need to leave their homes. So we were discussing about IoT. So IoT will be changing our life. Yes, we should also take care about cyber security issues, but we need right data, right format, right people, and right decisions for smart cities. Now let's discuss about smart grid. So we are all familiar with these power plants, transmission networks, substations, distribution networks, and consumers. So in case of smart grid, consumer is the key player because it can work as a prosumer. They can produce also and consume also. So from power stations to substations to consumer, we need to sense all the parameters. From power plants to substation to consumers, we should communicate all the parameters. We need to compute parameters and to take controlling actions. NIST, as per them, there are two important things. First one is secure communication flow, and second one is electrical flows. So as you can see from this image, there are many segments connected by continuous line. The information backbone of smart grid. from generation, transmission, distribution and consumer, there is a continuous flow of line and the communication is shown by dotted line. That I wanted to say in last slide also. So we have this continuous line, but we need this dotted line shown is for communication. We need a layer of communication also over the layer of power sector. So that is very important. So which are the various smart grid technologies? Advanced metering infrastructure, demand response, renewable integration, distribution automation, power quality and planning, hybrid electric vehicle, outage management system, and field data applications. So without AMI, smart grid is not possible, because if you don't sense it, you cannot control it. Then I'm going to talk about plug-in hybrid electric vehicle also in smart transportation segment. An outage management system is for improving reliability of the system. So let's discuss about sustainable transport. Decarbonizing transport is proving to be one of today's major challenges for the global automotive industry. There are many factors such as increase in greenhouse gas and particulate emissions affecting not only the climate but also humans. The increase in pollution, rapid oil depletion, issues with energy security and dependency from foreign sources and population growth. Todd Littman sorry. Todd Littman indicated that sustainable transportation system is one that limits the emission and waste within the planet's ability to absorb them, minimize consumption of non-renewable sources, reuses and recycles its components, and minimizes the use of land and production of noise. So this one is very important definition of sustainable transportation by Todd Littman. So all over the world, 9 countries and 12 cities are planning to ban sale of new petrol and diesel vehicles. In India, we might have to wait up to 2040. I have been visiting many exhibitions like Elecrama. So in Elecrama 2016, I found electric vehicle charged by solar panels. So generally electric vehicle runs on batteries. Nowadays many people they are adding ultra capacitors with batteries for electric vehicles. So different types of motors we can use. Generally induction motor for EV is very popular. Recently I visited Elecrama in Delhi in January 2020. I found this EVSE, electric vehicle supply equipment, and here you can see there are 3 different types. First one is SAE J1772 standard, which takes 7 to 8 hours. Second one is CHAdeMO, which is rapid charging, and third one is combo, which is having both facility. So please check the size of cable here and the size of cable in Elecrama 2016. So you can check the size of cable connected to this white car of Mahindra is very thin. It takes 8 hours minimum, and if you charge with this advanced type of cable and charging protocols, then you can charge vehicle within 2 to 3 hours. And from CHAdeMO, even you can charge your vehicle within few minutes. Charging electric vehicles from solar power, that concept is not new. One of the major automobile company, Honda, they demonstrated this in 2010. Yes, in 2010. And they have many charging stations. They have many electric vehicle charging stations which is having both rapid as well as conventional charging facilities. So let's talk EV development in Maharashtra. Tata Motor and state government of Maharashtra has signed a MOU to deploy 1000 electric vehicles in the state. Mahindra and Mahindra signed 2 memoranda of understanding MOUs with the Maharashtra government to further its next phase of expansion in electric vehicles in line with government's pursuit of rapid adoption of EVs for private use as well as public. This new partnerships gives a huge boost to Maharashtra's electric vehicle policy 2018. Please read as much as you can related to policies. I will be discussing one more related to electric vehicles. Magenta, service provider of renewable energy solution, has installed India's first solar charging station in Navi Mumbai. Since it is powered by solar energy, the cost comes to nil. And to forward this benefit to the end customer, company is offering free of cost fast charging facility to EV owners. So this facility is only for electric vehicle owners. So this Magenta company is in Navi Mumbai. Let's talk about power source of an electric car. It matters a lot. If you are considering gasoline vehicle and you are traveling 12,000 miles, it will emit 4,173 kg of CO2 equivalent, 9 kg of NOx, 0.63 kg of particulate matter. CO2 equivalent represents combination of all greenhouse gases, not only carbon dioxide. If you take second case, where you are charging electric vehicles from grid, then it will emit 1360 kg of CO2 equivalent, 2.2 kg of NOx and 0.5 kg of particulate matters. But when you charge electric vehicles from renewable sources of energy, then there is absolutely zero CO2 equivalent emissions, 0 kg of NOx emission and only 0.13 kg of particulate matters. So we should charge electric vehicles from renewable if possible. In many cases, in many cities, it is not possible because that is not easy to get solar panels or wind turbines at regular interval in our city. Let's talk about one key technology of smart grid, that is vehicle to home. 90% time vehicles are at standstill condition, right? So you can give electricity back to the place also, whether it's your home or whether it's your company building. It might termed as vehicle to building in that case. It will save your energy bill. If you are considering it for your home, it might become source of income for you. If you sell electricity from your vehicle to your neighbor, then you can earn money, because that EVSE, please check this one. There is one EVSE, electric vehicle supply equipment. If in your city, in your society, your neighbor is also having this infrastructure, then you can sell electricity to your neighbor also and you can earn money. So generally it can return 6 to 8 kilowatt. Those cars must have bidirectional power electronic converters. Let's talk about hydrogen fuel cell vehicles too, because for sustainable development, EVs only are not good enough. We need hydrogen as a fuel for vehicles. Fuel cell powered vehicles typically have range rating of 300 miles or more. So 300 miles means you might get more than 520 kilometers, right? Refueling time of approximately 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. So if you are traveling for 500 kilometer and after that if you want to refuel, it will only take 5 minutes. Isn't it amazing? 500 kilometer means you can easily go to Pune and return back, and there might be still some energy left in your vehicle, right? Hydrogen fuel also has a higher energy density than electric batteries and is easy to transport and store. Now there are two types of hydrogen that I will be focusing. This one is green hydrogen. Green hydrogen means you are taking electricity from renewable sources of energy for electrolysis, then you are manufacturing hydrogen, then you export it, and then it reaches to the fueling station of the city, and then you can refuel your vehicle. Excuse me. So blue hydrogen uses natural gas, that is not eco-friendly. Now let's talk about Paris Agreement. COP21 in Paris in 2015. There was one UN climate change conference. The Paris Agreement aims to limit the global temperature rise well below 2 degrees Celsius and to pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase even further to 1.5 degrees Celsius. We are talking about global temperature rise. If we take no action, then temperature will reach up to, let me write, 4.5 degree Celsius. (4.5 degrees Celsius) by the end of 2100. So this scenario is not good and it will affect people on planet Earth very badly, because yes, we have 4306 Earth-like planets, but there is no planet B, so we have to save our planet Earth. India also signed Paris Agreement along with 170 countries. So India submitted one report, nationally determined contributors, in which 1.5 number topic is related to safe, smart and sustainable green transportation network. It was published on 2nd October 2016, and on page number 16 they mentioned faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicle. This is known as, this policy is known as FAME. FAME. It will support 10 lakh two-wheelers, 5 lakh three-wheelers, 55,000 four-wheelers and 7,000 electric buses. There might be a charging station in 3 by 3 kilometer grid, and there will be around 2,700 charging stations in smart cities. 98 smart cities will get first chance for this 2700 number of charging stations. Outlay of rupees 10,000 crores over next 3 years. Distributed energy resources going to play a vital role for smart cities, sustainable smart cities. I visited Charanka Solar Park in 2012, and this one was having around 600 megawatt of grid connected capacity at that time, and currently it is having approximately 1100 megawatt of grid connected capacity. So yes, it is amongst top 3 grid connected solar power station across the India. I have visited Sakri power stations also with our students, but I don't have that photograph right now. Lastly, we should not forget sustainable development goals. So these goals are known as global goals also. So please remember this. Global goals were adopted by United Nations member states in 2015 to protect planet Earth. Today's topic is related to goal number 7, which is affordable and clean energy. Goal number 13, because we are talking about charging electric vehicles from solar panel, and also we discuss hydrogen fueling station for fuel cell vehicles, and this is goal number 11. This goal number 11 is related to sustainable cities and communities. So I am not going to focus on other goals at this moment. You can check. Okay, let's discuss. Goal number 4 is related to quality education. Yes, it is related to our topic. Goal number 3 is related to good health. So we need smart cities. Please read as much as you can about smart cities and sustainable development goals. In 2011, I won national prize. That event was organized by Siemens, Future Dialogue, Sustainable Cities. I submitted this poster in which I included distributed facts, energy conservation building codes, emission trading, green buildings, wind turbines, wide area protection and control, and outage management system. I was very happy when I received that award from Siemens at New Delhi. So from that moment onwards, I started reading more about sustainable cities, not only smart grid and smart cities. So smart cities need smarter citizens too. We should all work harder for benefit of our cities, and if we get success in our city, smart city, we can help other town planners and other smart city designers too. I also visited Smart Grid Week 2018 in New Delhi and Smart City Expo. So you should visit exhibitions too. Learning outcomes of these sessions. Now students learn different smart grid technologies. Student learned about smart cities and different initiatives. Now you have idea about role of IoT for smart cities also. These are my references. Work as hard as possible. Let's help to build smarter cities and smarter planet. Thank you everyone.